Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. This is brain lesson number 6, and the concept here is a botanical garden. We all know what's a botanical garden, but I want to use a botanical garden as a metaphor for the human brain. And just to remind you again, I love this picture of the human brain where the brain is in a cage. Okay, we need to ask ourselves the question, who has put this brain in the cage and why? The reason the brain is in a cage is because, like it's in a zoo, you put dangerous things into a cage. For example, a lion is very dangerous, so you put it in a cage. The brain is very, very powerful. That is why it's put in a cage. You don't put it in a cage, but other people put it in a cage. Whether it's the media or people in authority or sometimes our friends and family who make us think that we're weaker than what we are. Negative thinking, toxins. So each line is negative thinking, toxins. People are putting us down. People out of jealousy and betrayal, all of that. They want to try and limit our growth. So the way to do this is to think of your brain as a botanical garden. What you need to do, you need to ask yourself a question. When last did you wash your brain? I'm not talking about the hair. Hair is different. We spend so much money on our shampoo. We spend money on our showering, everything. That's fine. We spend money on our hats and all the designs on top here. But in the way that I think it was that Cremora advert which said it's not inside, it's on top. But in this case, everything has got to do with inside. We spend a lot of money on shampoo. When last did you spend money on a book? Even if you don't spend money on the book, now with the internet, you can download ebooks. Even if you don't download, you can read on the internet or read it, but please make a habit of reading. So the whole concept of the botanical garden is you have two types of gardens. You have one garden which is extremely beautiful, neatly manicured lawns. If you think of a palace or the palace in Versailles in Paris or Buckingham Palace, you see neatly manicured lawns and beautiful flowers and trees. How does that happen? It happens because they look after it. So think of your brain as a beautiful, wonderful, magnificent botanical garden with waterfalls and koi fish and fountains and streams and roses and flowers and orchids and extremely beautiful garden that you have. But what happens over time is that people start putting weeds. The weeds are the negative thoughts. You will start putting weeds into your brain, and these weeds are the negative thoughts, are the toxins, are the fear, the stresses of life. You open the newspaper, you read about the tragedies that's happening in Gaza, or you read about the Ukraine war, and then the people start putting weird type of stories. Okay, maybe there's a nuclear threat or another world war. And so this is all vicarious trauma. Vicarious trauma means we are suffering with other people. Okay, so it's emotionally draining. And then we have war overseas, and then we have war in your own community or in your own house when you're going through your own difficulties. Al-Qaeda has a craze. Every house has got its own difficulty. No one can tell me that they haven't gone through any calamity or suffering in their life. Some people are suffering right now. Whether it's your own internal turmoils, whether you're trying to study for an exam or you're trying to find a suitable marriage partner, or maybe you're married and you're going through a divorce, and emotionally draining time. So many people go through the draining time. So the way to do it is to regard your brain as a botanical garden. Remove the weeds from your brain. That means remove the bad thoughts. Remove the negative thinking. Every negative thought is a weed. Throw that weed away and replace it with a rose. A rose is a positive thought. Have a list of affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements to say, I'm a good person. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created me. God Almighty, most merciful, has created me. He has created me to be a successful human being. He did not put me on earth to fail. Other people want to see me fail, yes, but not Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants me to succeed. So you need to focus on your botanical garden, your brain, remove the weeds and start planting good thoughts into your brain. And you must break the chain around your brain. And reading is vitamin tonic for the brain. Surah 96 verse 1, as what we always remind ourselves. Reading is fabulous. Train your children, especially for the young generation, the youth. Please guys, I know that we're all crazy about the internet and social media, and we all want a fast life. It's called the microwave generation. Everything must be happening instantaneously. But please pause and take time for reading. Take well, stay well. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fill your life with barakah and blessings. Stay tuned for this was lesson number 6. Stay tuned for lesson number 7. Stay well and look after yourself.